in Surrey. Here on BBC Two, we conjure up the highlights from the last of 3 days of prestigious equestrian competition in the National Hunt Festival, racing from Cheltenham.
First day that a jumping bred foal struggles to its feet, the breeder of that foal dreams that one day he'll win the Cheltenham Gold Cup. But today, for one small breeder, that dream once again became a reality. It was a classic Gold Cup. The weather was fine, the crowd surely even bigger than on Tuesday, and the going, thanks to a drying wind, not a great deal worse than good to soft. Well, this was a Gold Cup filled with emotion. Could Tide Cottage win the race at the age of 13? Could Night Nurse become the first horse ever to win a Gold Cup in addition to a champion hurdle? Or would Little Owl prove himself to be one of the great gift horses of all time? In the paddock, it was Night Nurse who was outstanding. Every inch the mature, deep, powerful stamp of a chaser. His stable companion, Little Owl, was the youngest horse in the race at the age of 7, and no amateur had won the Gold Cup since 1947. But the best backed horse on the day was Silver Buck, who started a firm favourite and exuded class in everything he did. And he was the form horse of the race. Early in the race, Tide Cottage set up a big advantage, but then he stood back too far at a fence and paid the penalty. And going out onto the second circuit, the leaders were closely bunched.
At the 13th, Night Nurse and Diamond Edge, from Little Owl and Raffy Nelson. Just in behind Raffy Nelson, Silver Buck, with Spartan Missile still going well on the inside. Approaching is next, and then Midnight Court on the outside, then Rollbon and Chinrallah, and then So-and-so as they come to the water. Night Nurse lands in the lead from Diamond Edge. Just behind Diamond Edge, Little Owl. Behind them, Spartan Missile and Silver Buck, and behind Silver Buck is Raffy Nelson, and approaching over the third ditch. Night Nurse lands in the lead from Diamond Edge. Then behind Diamond Edge is Little Owl, then Spartan Missile, behind Spartan Missile, Silver Buck, then approaching Raffy Nelson, Royal Bond, and Jack of Trumps getting a little bit nearer as they jump the 16th. And there Night Nurse from Diamond Edge and Little Owl. Silver Buck is now 4th. In 5th place is Spartan Missile. 6, 7 and 8 are approaching Midnight Court and Royal Bond. 9 and 10 are Jack of Trumps and Raffy Nelson as they come to the final ditch, and Night Nurse lands in the lead. And Royal Bond a faller there. Royal Bond has gone at the last ditch. He's climbed back into the saddle, but he's virtually out of it. The rider's climbed back, but you can count him out, and 5 from home. Night Nurse lands in the lead from Little Owl. These are the two Peter East to be trained stable companions, Night Nurse and Little Owl, from Silver Buck and approaching. Behind approaching is Midnight Court and John Frankham going well. Then 54-year-old John Thorne on Spartan Missile. Then comes Diamond Edge and Jack of Trumps improving now significantly as they come to the 4th from home. Night Nurse lands in the lead from Little Owl. Behind them comes Silver Buck. Behind Silver Buck is approaching. Then comes Spartan Missile. Then Jack of Trumps beginning to get into the picture too as they run down towards the third last. It's Night Nurse and Little Owl, the two stable companions from Silver Buck. Spartan Missile approaching and Jack of Trumps. And over that one, Night Nurse landed in the lead from Little Owl and Silver Buck going very well in behind Night Nurse, and it's the old rivals now as they come down towards the second last in the Cheltenham Gold Cup. It's Night Nurse and Silver Buck and Little Owl. Just in behind them comes Spartan Missile and Jack of Trumps as they race towards the second last. Silver Buck has come to divide Little Owl and Night Nurse. It's Little Owl on the near side, Silver Buck on the far side now. Little Owl lands in the lead from Silver Buck. Night Nurse, then comes Spartan Missile and Jack of Trumps racing to the final fence now. And it's Little Owl from Silver Buck and Night Nurse. Little Owl with a 2-length advantage at the last. Little Owl lands in the lead. Silver Buck and Night Nurse next, and racing into the closing stages. It's Little Owl being pressed by Night Nurse. Little Owl and Night Nurse, the two stable companions. Jim Wilson from Alan Brown. Little Owl is holding Night Nurse. Jim Wilson becomes the first amateur to win it since 1947. Little Owl wins the Gold Cup from Night Nurse. Third is Silver Buck, 4 Spartan Missile, 5 and 6 are Diamond Edge and Jack of Trumps, and then came Royal Judgment. Well, what a race, and what an outcome Jim Wilson, the first amateur to win it since Dickie Black won it in 1947 on Fort Trier. Here's how he achieved it as we review it with Richard Pittman.
And at this stage, the Silver Buck, the favourite, coming through in the middle and looking to go well. And on the edge there, on the far side, is Night Nurse, still in with a chance, but weakening slightly. But just look at the stride Jim gets there. Jim Wilson on Little Owl, really goes for a long one and stretches to get there and crosses just in front of the other two, but it's of no bother at all. Now, just one fence to jump. Little Owl pricking his ears, and again Jim goes for a long one, sits back, and is probably 2.5 lengths clear now, but just watch the fighting properties of Night Nurse as he really puts in a tremendous challenge here. Alan Brown switches him, and from our camera angle it looks as if he's making headway hand over fist, but in fact Little Owl's always going to hold him. This is a very good local success.
As I say, it was back in 1947 that an amateur last returned to receive the acclaim of the Cheltenham crowds after winning Steeplechasing's Classic. It was Dickie Black on Fortina. Mrs. Woodrow Wyatt in the white hat, the wife of the chairman, Woodrow, of course, on the right of the tote, to present the trophy to Robin Wilson and his brother Jim, the joint owners of Little Owl, the 1.5 lengths winner. I don't think I mentioned to you the distances earlier, of the 1981 Tote Cheltenham Gold Cup, as well as the fine trophy of £32,994 to the winner.
Well, one of the great races for the Gold Cup, and I'm pleased now to introduce the part owner and winning rider of the Gold Cup, the first amateur to win since 1947, Jim Wilson. Well, Jim, many, many congratulations. How did the race go?
Just as planned. You know, Peter said don't be further than 5-6 lengths behind. You know, he's a great stayer, a bit worried about the ground, and young horse, you know, jumped well, a bit too far off a couple and a bit close to a couple, but basically no mistakes, and knew I'd win as soon as I turned the straight, because he does change up, you know.
Do you think it helped you that Tide Cottage fell, because it became a different race after that?
Not really, no. A test of stamina would suit me better. I mean, it was a test of stamina as it was, but a real test of stamina would have probably got rid of the Night Nurse a bit earlier. Yeah. As it was, he was staying on, and so was the other horse, really.
Well, coming down to the second last, and there were 3 horses in it, and I must say it looked to us as if Silverbuck in the centre was going best. Was that your impression of it?
No, I wasn't worried at all. He's changed up and come to me easy, but I mean, I've changed up 3 gears where he's changed up 2, and my horse just keeps going all day, you know. He's really stood off the last, second last and the last, long way off the second last and the last, and I had to come for both because of the ground, you know. If you got in close, you'd sit on your head and take all day to get going again.
Well, we've looked at the last fence at Haydock about 100 times, but this was a bit different, wasn't it?
Yes, I mean, that was my fault totally. Go on, mate, son. You know, Haydock, I didn't realise there was no one on that other horse till going to the last, and I relaxed and let him run into the bottom of it. Got there before I knew it, you know. Now, that's unreal. I mean, he has idled a bit up the straight, but the ground and everything else, you know, it's a long way. It's a good thing for a young horse, 7-year-old, you know.
Were you aware of Night Nurse coming at you?
Yes. I didn't want to smack him around the backside because he's done everything for me, and, you know, there's a long way to go yet, we hope. Touch wood.
Jim Wilson, the first amateur to win the Gold Cup for 34 years. Well, the day started with a huge field of 29 for the Daily Express Triumph Hurdle, but despite that, it contained what for many people was the banker bet of the week in Broadsword. Broadsword had won 6 of his 7 races over hurdles, and his trainer, David Nicholson, was celebrating his 42nd birthday. He was firm in the market and went off at 7-4, but it was a race of fast-changing fortunes.
2 left to jump now. Frassas in the lead. From Sharp Deal gone second. The Very Thing third. Home Sun is 4 on the outside, and then Tyanka just in behind Tyanka. My Timmy making good ground with Broadsword and Mansky, and behind them Ra Tapu, and then comes Jade's Double. Running down the hill now towards the second last in the Daily Express Triumph Hurdle, and it's Frassas being pressed by Sharp Deal. The Very Thing on the inside. King Agapan is right on top of them too, with Tie Anchor and Mansky. Fledge is also improving well. Broadswords just in behind the leaders, coming to the second last. Frassas lands just in the lead there. Frassas from Sharp Deal. Then Fledge improving well towards the outside. On the inner it's Mansky and Broadsword coming there in the centre. And as they level up for home now with one flight left to jump, it's Mansky in the lead from Tie Anchor and Broadsword, the favourite, coming to try and challenge Mansky now as they come to the final flight. Mansky under pressure, Broadsword coming to challenge him. Tie Anchor's in third, Baron Blakeney 4 and Fledge 5 as they come to the final flight. Mansky being pressed by Broadsword. Broadsword and Mansky over the last. Broadsword lands in the lead, and it's Broadsword from Mansky now as they race into the closing stages. Broadsword from Tie Anchor now gone second, then Baron Blakeney. Baron Blakeney putting in a tremendous run as they race towards the line. It's Broadsword from Baron Blakeney. It's going to be a photo finish. Baron Blakeney's just going to get up at the line. Baron Blakeney wins it from Broadsword. Mansky is third and 4. Here's why.
Well, as they come here, would you believe that Mansky wouldn't finish in the first three? Mansky in Robert Sangster's colours on the far side. Broadsword coming smoothly to come and meet him, and meets this one just right. A really good jump. You would think that that clinches it, but the winner is in fourth place at this stage. You can see a lot of horses breathing down the necks, but at this place, Peter Scudamore has produced Broadsword just right to go away and win. He's got the loose horse to help him gallop, but to all the time you can see Baron Blakeney in those yellow colours making relentless progress. This horse who'd won at Worcester last time out, I think Paul Leach has lost his whip because he was hitting him down the neck with his hand just now, but it's effective because his hands and heels, he's pushing him and getting there. Broadsword has done it all, but on the line he's pipped from behind by Baron Blakeney to win a major prize for a small stable.
And at 66 to 1, Baron Blakeney was the longest prize winner, not surprisingly, of the whole meeting. We hear now the full list of the last day's results.
The first race, the 2:15, first Baron Blakeney, 66 to 1, second Broadsword, 7 to 4 favourite, third Tie Anchor, 14 to 1. The 2:50, first Gritthard, 12 to 1, second Honourable Man, 9 to 2, and third Sun Lion, 33 to 1. The 3:30, that is the Cheltenham Gold Cup, first Little Owl, 6 to 1, second Night Nurse, also 6 to 1, and third Silver Buck, 7 to 2 favourite. The 4:5, first Current Gold, 10 to 1, second Gandhi the 6, 20 to 1, the third Megan's Boy, 10 to 1, and fourth Sunset Christo, 9 to 2 favourite. The 4:40, first Staplestown, 11 to 2 favourite, second Dan Hagen, 11 to 1, the third Passing Parade, 14 to 1, and fourth Hudson's Bay, 15 to 2. And finally the 5:15, first Lord Greystoke, 7 to 2, second Hot Tomato, 5 to 1, and third Beacon Light, 2 to 1 favourite.
And Jim Wilson's big race winner today completed a double for him at the meeting. Remember, he won on Willie Wumpkins yesterday. But no one got close to John Frankham with his treble on the first day. And those three winners enabled him to win the Ritz Club Charity Trophy as the top rider at the meeting. A trophy presented to him after the fifth race by Captain Mark Phillips. So, a fitting finale to an outstanding National Hunt Festival. There were highlights galore and one of the best races for years for the Cheltenham Gold Cup. But above all, this was a week that belonged to Peter Easterby, the first trainer for 19 years to train both the winners of the Champion Hurdle and Gold Cup. What a race for the Gold Cup. But above all, what a horse is Sea Pigeon.
It's the old man, Sea Pigeon, coming to take it up, and he's going to win it as they come up towards the line. Sea Pigeon wins the Champion Hurdle. Sea Pigeon has just won it from Pollardstown and Durning Run. Little Owl and Night Nurse, the two stable companions. Jim Wilson from Alan Brown. Little Owl is holding Night Nurse. Jim Wilson becomes the first amateur to win it since 1947. Little Owl wins the Gold Cup from Night Nurse.
Still on the subject of horse racing, a week today on BBC One there's a personal account of the jockey Lester Piggott, 9 times champion jockey who 33 years ago at the tender age of 12 began his rise to fame by winning his first race. Lester, the private side of a public figure, is next Thursday at 9:25 on BBC One.